Hello and welcome. My name is Tristan Kerec, and today I'll be speaking to you about the healing tools within Photoshop. Now, this tutorial is done in Photoshop CS6, however, it still will apply to the newer versions of Photoshop. The healing tools or retouching tools in Photoshop are known as the Spot Healing Brush, Patch Tool, Content Aware Move Tool, and the Red Eye Tool. These are tools that are used to blend certain aspects and areas of your photos, or to alter their appearance to the user's desire. Spot Healing Brush and Healing Brush. Both the Spot Healing Brush and the Healing Brush can allow you to fix image imperfections, such as scratches and blemishes. This is done by sampling the surrounding area of the imperfection to help blend these imperfections into the rest of the image to essentially erase them. More specifically, the Spot Healing Brush automatically fills the area the user selects with pixels of the surrounding image. This is done through calculations that are made by the application itself, and generally this will produce a good result. So if we take our image here and we just scroll down to an affected area, so I noticed that I want to erase this blemish here because it's getting in the way. So what you want to do is just zoom in by holding the Option key or Alt if you're on Windows, and you're going to select the Spot Healing Brush tool, and you can change the size of your brush by clicking the square bracket keys to the next right beside the P key on your keyboard. And I'll put a picture of what those keys look like on the screen. And the right closed square bracket makes your brush bigger, and the left square bracket would make it smaller. So what we're going to do is select a brush size that would cover our surrounding area. So this size looks pretty good, and we're essentially just going to draw on the affected area. And what it's going to do is it's going to use its calculations, and you can see, since I didn't get all of it, it didn't quite get all the redness out. So we're just going to touch up the last bit of redness there, and some more there, as well as there, maybe a little bit there. And you can see it did a pretty good job. So if we zoom back out, you can see that it is essentially erased from the image, and you can't even tell that it was there. So you can continue to do this with blemishes, scratches, just anything that is in your photo that you feel could be erased and that you feel that Photoshop would be able to pick up. Because if it's something that's not something that Photoshop isn't able to pick up, then you're going to want to use the healing brush. So now we'll talk about the healing brush. So if you want to use a more advanced or customizable approach to healing your image, you can use the healing brush. The healing brush allows you to choose your own selection of pixels or your destination point by alt-clicking a selection of the area you wish to sample. Alt-clicking is done by holding down the Alt or Option key on Mac and clicking a destination point in your picture. Once you have alt-clicked and have selected the area you wish to sample, you can then click over other parts of the image and blend those areas with the pixels from your destination point. So for an example of when you'd use the healing brush, we're going to go back to the same original photo. We're just going to select the healing brush from the side, and we're going to find an area of our image, such as this hair over here. So what you'll notice is that as you go up on the hair, the skin gets darker because of the lighting. So what we're going to do is we're going to select a destination point by going to our healing brush tool. And we're going to make our brush size a little bit bigger. Hold down the Alt or Option key. Select an area of the skin that's similar to what we want to cover over the hair. And we're going to essentially draw over the hair. And you can see that as I'm drawing, and I will select another destination point up here because the skin color is darker. As I'm drawing, you can see that plus, and the plus mark, if I'm dragging, it Photoshop picks up that I'm dragging, and it will continue. It will continue on with its destination point based on its calculation of what it should be. So if you don't want to alter the destination point, you can alt-click on an area and then just keep clicking as opposed to dragging, and it will continue to use the same destination point the whole way if that is something that you wish to do. If you don't, in this case, I don't wish to do that because as we move up the hair, it just changes the destination point automatically to a darker area of the skin, and that's what we're looking to do. So I can just click and drag because it works for me in this situation. And you can see that it did mess up a little bit, so we can just select a new destination point and then just continue to blend over it until we get it to how we like it. And that's the good part about this tool, is that you can make it exactly how you want it. So that's one benefit that you would get using the healing brush tool over the spot healing brush tool. Next, we're going to be talking about the patch tool. The patch tool is used to write over selections of your photo with a chosen selection from that same photo. The user will use the patch tool to trace around the affected area that they are looking to write over. And once the selection is complete, the user will click and drag inside that area and move their mouse over a new set of pixels of the exact same dimensions as the original selection, and Photoshop will replace the original selection with pixels from the new selection. So if we go over to our patch tool and we zoom in a little bit, I notice that I want to get rid of this crack in the wall because, you know, it's my new home and I don't want everyone to see that I have a big crack in the wall. So what I can do is, and now you'll notice that around the crack there's a little bit of like a halo, so the pixels sort of extend out of the crack and it doesn't look as smooth as, say, down here where the wall is nice and smooth. So what we're going to want to do is select around the whole affected area. So I will just trace down and around, and it doesn't have to be very, very accurate. Like I said, you want to select the whole affected area, so we're going to do just that. And we're going to click and drag inside, and we're going to drag down over here where it's nice and smooth, and Photoshop will essentially replace that. But we did miss one area, so we're going to go back, select that affected dark area, and we're going to click and drag over here, and it is going to completely erase that crack from our image. And now our image is nice and clean and we don't have a big crack in our wall. Another application of the patch tool would be to multiply your selection instead of erasing that selection. So what we can do is select the crack again, and let's say, just as a joke, I want to make more cracks. So what I can do is I go up to here and just select destination within the patch tool, and what this does is it will patch based on my destination. So I can take my destination and then I can just continue to move it wherever I would like, and then once I let go of the mouse, it will drop those pixels in the area that I wish, and then it keeps the selection highlighted so I can do it again. So that's another application of the patch tool. The next tool I'll be speaking to you about is the Content Aware Move tool. The Content Aware Move tool allows the user to select an area of their image and essentially transfer the pixels contained in that selection to another area of the image. The pixels in the original selection are then blended with pixels that surround the new final position of your selection. So when that selection is in its final area, it doesn't look out of place. All of the blending done from this tool is done by the application itself. So now I will show you what I mean when I say this. So if we select our Content Aware Move tool, I notice that I don't want the bird to be placed in the top left. I want the bird to be placed in the center of the photo. So what I'm going to want to do is just trace around the bird, and you're just going to want to get, you don't need it to be very accurate, you just need a nice trace, nice quick and easy trace. And we can click and drag into the middle, and then you can see that Photoshop automatically takes away the bird from that area and overwrites those pixels with pixels of the surrounding area. So for example, the blue, and it then moves the bird pixels to the center of the photo where it looks perfectly blended in. It doesn't even look like it was moved there. It looks like that's how the original photo was taken. So that's the Content Aware Move tool. Another application of the Content Aware Move tool is the Extend feature. So what you're going to want to do is go up to Mode, up in the top settings bar here, and click Extend as your remix mode. Then you're going to want to select your crack, and then click and drag. And once again, just like the patch tool, it will multiply that selection rather than getting rid of the original selection. So this would be used for applications such as maybe you want to extend the length of a building, or extend the length of a wall, or even extend the length of the crack if you wanted to be funny. So that's another application of the Content Aware Move tool. The last tool I'll be speaking to you about is the Red Eye tool. This tool is very simple. The Red Eye tool is used to remove red pupils, better known as red eyes, that are caused from taking a photo with flash, and converts them back into being black. The best way to use this tool is if it is a magic wand, in the sense that it is a point and click. Simply take any photo that has red pupils in it, select the Red Eye tool, and click on the affected areas. So what you're going to want to do is select your Red Eye tool, and you're going to want to go over, and wherever you see red pupils, you just click in that area, and Photoshop does its magic. You can play around with the pupil size and the darken amount, but I find that 50% for both works very well. As you can see in this photo, it did work very well, and it produced a great result. In conclusion, the healing tools are used to retouch, modify, and alter photos to the user's desire. These tools are better known as the Spot Healing Brush, Patch Tool, Content Aware Move tool, and the Red Eye tool. Thanks for watching.